differently, but my point of view is doesn't matter who you select. If you make 136 in your first innings and then 60 in your first innings in the next test, doesn't matter what bowlers you choose.
Winning the final test match, but of course losing the urn to England. Ian Chappell is joining me from Sydney for some thoughts. Thought, Ian, today that we would just take a look back on what has been a raging conversation through these last few test matches about Australia's selection. First, from the overall point of view, was it your view as well that the selectors made some big mistakes in
you're not going to win.
And of course, this is relevant also because, Ian, you know Rod Marsh quite well. Of course, he was your wicket-keeper in that great team of the 70s and has been involved in Australian cricket over many years. How do you see him in the role of chief selector? What are the ways that he selects teams this series?
No, I don't buy that argument. It's very easy to be a good selector after the game's over, and you've seen what's happened. That's not selecting at all. That's just second guessing. Yeah, sure, there might have been an odd thing that they could have done.
How do you see him in the role of chief selector? What are the ways that he selects teams and the approach that he has to selecting the national team?
Well, Rodney will always take the aggressive line if he possibly can, and I think here again, going back to what the young batsmen have been providing, I'm sure he would have loved to have chosen a few more young batsmen in recent times, but they just haven't been performing. So they've taken the other option, which is all right, been providing. I'm sure he would have loved to have chosen a few more young batsmen in recent times, but they just haven't been performing. So they've taken the other option, which is all right, let's win now and we'll worry about the future when the future comes along.
In fact, as you know, and I'm sure you've been keeping an eye out on the media comments, Shane Warne's been among those who's been very critical of the selection. And one issue that he brought up was Peter Siddle. He thought that Siddle should have played in the 4th test match in very helpful conditions and then should not have been considered for the 5th one simply because this was an opportunity to blood a young player. Again,